beginning of the month of April, launches National County Government Month. It's an opportunity for counties to further educate the public about the roles and responsibilities of county government. The theme for this year's National County Government Month is Smart Justice, Creating Safer Communities. So I ask you and invite you to visit our website, www.DeKalbCountyGA.gov, to learn more about the events and programs we plan for the entire month. And it's only fitting that we begin celebrating the importance of public safety by introducing Dr. Cedric Alexander to the citizens of DeKalb County. He is absolutely the right person at the right time to lead our police department in the 21st century. His professional credentials are unquestioned, having recently served as Federal Security Director at the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport for the Division of Homeland Security, TSA, Deputy Commissioner of the New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services, as Chief of Police of Rochester, New York, and starting his career as a sworn officer in Miami-Dade, Orange, and Leon counties. His academic credentials are exemplary, having earned a doctoral degree in clinical psychology from Wright State University and postdoctoral training at the University of Rochester School of Medicine. Yet, he was not hired solely because of his professional and academic credentials, as extraordinary as they are. He was chosen because of his abundant humanity and his compassion for people. He is just what we need, ladies and gentlemen. He's a principled leader. Right now, we need a principled leader who understands the complexities of public safety, especially in relation to the social and economic well-being of DeKalb County, and also the commonality of public safety, recognizing that everyone has a fundamental desire to be safe. It's something that we all share as part of our humanity as neighbors. And so we're blessed to have a chief of police who recognizes the significance of both. I want to say to Chief Alexander, congratulations on your swearing in today. I want to welcome you to the DeKalb County family. I look forward to serving with you as we move this great county forward. Thank you all for being here today. Chief Alexander and I are going to be moving around this county, doing something he's already done. He has already been at work. I don't want anybody to mistake today as his first day of work. Today is a day when we begin a formal ceremony, a swearing in. It's like going to the water. It's an outward recognition of what already has begun, what already has taken place on the inside. He's already out and about in the communities. He's already meeting with the officers on the front line, riding around with them in their cars. He's already attending community meetings. He's already being what? No swearing in and no designation today, no appointment by a CEO or board of commissioners or anybody else can give him. He's already exercising the leadership that God has called him to recognize. And so, or to exercise. And so we're honored really to have Chief Alexander in our presence and amongst us today because he exemplifies what DeKalb County is really all about. And so at this time, as we kick off this program and we begin a day of activities that will highlight service in the very highest regard, I'd like to bring forth the DeKalb County Honor Guard to post our colors, and the national anthem will be brought to us by Lieutenant Rutland.
Officers and all civilian personnel, attention, who? Honor Guard, who? Here, coat. Ankle, shoulder, hold. Up, forward, arch.
what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order, hold.
Everybody be seated, please. Okay, at this time, we'll bring forth Judge Beryl Anderson and Chief Alexander. Thank you.
All right, Chief, if you will raise your right hand and repeat after me, please. I, Cedric L. Alexander,
Cedric L. Alexander,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America
the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Georgia,
and the Constitution of the State of Georgia,
that I will faithfully enforce the laws of the State of Georgia
that I will faithfully enforce the laws of the State of Georgia
and the County of DeKalb,
and the County of DeKalb,
that I will faithfully perform all of the duties of my office,
that I will faithfully perform the duties of all my office,
and that I will faithfully observe all the rules,
that I will faithfully observe all the rules,
orders,
orders,
and regulations
and regulations
of the DeKalb County Police Department.
of the DeKalb County Police Department.
I do further swear or affirm
I do further swear or affirm
that I am not the holder of any unaccounted for public money,
that I am not the holder of any accounted for, unaccounted for county money
to this state
to this state
or any political subdivision
or any political subdivision
or authority thereof,
or authority thereof,
that I am not the holder of any office of trust
that I am not the holder of any office of trust
under the government of the United States,
under the government of the United States,
any other state,
any other state,
or any foreign state,
or any foreign state,
which by the laws of the State of Georgia,
which by the laws of the State of Georgia
I am prohibited from holding,
I am prohibited from holding,
and that I am otherwise qualified
and that I am otherwise qualified
to be the Chief of Police
to be the Chief of Police
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
and the laws of the State of Georgia.
and the laws of the State of Georgia.
I do further swear or affirm
I do further swear or affirm
that as Chief of Police,
that as Chief of Police,
I will faithfully serve and protect
that I will faithfully serve and protect
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
all citizens,
all citizens,
regardless
regardless
of race,
of race,
color,
color,
or creed.
or creed.
I accept
I accept
the Law Enforcement Code or Canon of Ethics
the Law Enforcement Code or Canon of Ethics
as my standard of conduct
as my standard of conduct
while on
while on
or off duty,
or off duty,
and swear to faithfully abide
and swear to faithfully abide
by and defend the same.
and Say that again.
I do faithfully
I do faithfully
swear to abide by and defend the same.
to swear, abide by, and defend the same.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You sign as witness.
Thank you very much as well, too. I'm glad that's over. I was about to run out of breath there for a while. But anyway, let me say good morning to everyone, and thank you, Mr. Ellis, for this opportunity as CEO of this great county to give me the opportunity to serve this community as Chief of Police. And also thank you, Judge Anderson, for their swearing in this morning. Let me start by saying this. We've got a lot of wonderful guests here, and I just have to, I would be remiss not to mention several people that are here today and come as far as New York to be part of this, and that is Chief Todd Baxter from the Greece Police Department in Greece, New York. Let's give him a round of applause. He came here Chief Baxter, Chief Baxter worked for me before he became chief with Rochester Police Department. He was my chief of staff during that time as well, too, and commander of the SWAT team. So he's in good company. He's with SWAT members here. And he's just loving it. He's been here since last night, living out in Stone Mountain. I told him if he came to DeKalb to be part of this, he had to reside in DeKalb somewhere. So he was up in Stone Mountain with us last night. So thank you, Todd. And also like to say thank you, Chief Grogan from Dunwoody. Thank you for being here as well, too. A few weeks ago when I accepted this position, Chief Grogan was one of the first people to reach out to me and welcome me to this county, and I really do appreciate that, and I always will remember this well, too, and we had an opportunity to meet and talk. And I know there are a lot of representatives here as well, too. Chief George Turner, I hope, is around here somewhere. We have members from Clayton County Police Department that are here, very good friends of mine, Noble members, and many other family and guests. The Dixon family I know is here from Atlanta, and many others. Look, I like to say thanks to everyone, even if I miss someone. I want to say thank you to you all for being here with us. So, but also let me recognize my cousin, right? It's the only family I got in town. Yeah, stand up here for a second. And she's a young optometrist here in this community. She's engaged, about to get married. She just don't know what to do with herself. But I'm very, very proud of her. She and her mother and I grew up together. And I'm so very glad you were able to come this morning, Kim, to be with me. So thank you as part of my family. But let me move on very quickly here and say a few things in terms of where we're going in this department. I've been in town approximately about 2 weeks now. When I moved here, I think it was about the 16th of March. And actually, I've been at work for the last couple of weeks. I wasn't getting paid for it. It wasn't necessary for me to, because that was the agreement that I would start on April 1st, but quite frankly, I started before then. And part of that for me, that was very important for me, it gave me a jump start on having an opportunity to get to know the men and women in this police department. And I'm gonna tell you, in spite of some of the challenges that we all have heard about in the last recent weeks, that is only really, truly a very, very small fraction of the issues that of making this department look the way that it did. Those folks are gone. We've gotten rid of them. We've done away with them. I'm going to tell you something, and I'm saying this very honestly. I'm not saying this just because of this morning or because the press that is here. We have a wonderful police department, a wonderful dedicated group of men and women who have been in this agency on the average, particularly the command staff, and I want to speak specifically about the command staff of assistant chiefs and majors. The average tenure of each one of them is somewhere between 20 and 25 years. And one of the questions that was consistently asked to me, coming in from the outside, are you going to bring someone with you from the outside? The answer to that question is no then, and it's no now. Because the men and women whose blood are out there on the street, the men and women who have died being members of this department, are all friends of these folks that are going to help bring this police department back to where it was. Nobody can do that better than the men and women who are inside this police agency. So let's give them a round of applause. So that is incredibly important to me because they have time and tenure, and they all love this police department. Many of them grew up in DeKalb, and for all their lives, they wanted to be police officers in this department. When they were 18, 19, 20 years old, they were waiting on that phone call. And 25 and 30 years later, they're still here. They're doing a great job. And one thing for me, being the outsider coming into this agency, I'm just a coach of this team. That's all I am. I'm the hockey coach, I'm the football coach, I'm the soccer coach. These guys are the players. And we've had a few losing seasons here most recently. But this year and the year going forward, for us, we're committed. All of us are committed. They've made the commitment. I've made the commitment privately. And today I make the commitment publicly. We're going to win us some Super Bowl games. So I encourage all of us that are in this room, that are part of this community, to support the members of the DeKalb County Police Department. They're wonderful people who do an exceptional job every day. And I'll give you a good example. 2 nights ago, we had a police-involved shooting. And I responded to that scene. And it was one of these situations where officers responded to a call where someone's door was open. When officers got there, they saw that the front door had been kicked open. They went inside, did exactly what they were trained to do. They announced themselves. In a very short period of time, they started to take on gunfire. Inside was a resident who did not know that they were police officers. They returned fire, retreated. Thank God to this day, no one got injured. And when I got there to meet with them officers, and that was the most important thing to me, having an opportunity to meet with them, and they were well, they were good, they were upbeat, and they were ready to go back to work. They were ready to leave there after being shot at and go back to work. Well, I wasn't going to let them go back to work because I mentioned to them, this is not TV, this is real stuff here. So even though they may not feel any sense of defeat at that moment, but the reality of it is that is a traumatic event. So they'll go home for a couple of days and pull themselves together, and they'll get back on the saddle and they'll go back to work. But the point I'm making here is that in spite of everything else, they were ready to go back to work and take the next call for service. That is commendable. And I think that's a real example of the kind of men and women that you have inside this police department. So for me, I am exceptionally proud to be here and to lead this organization, to be part of this wonderful community and its members. And I commit to you, one thing that we're going to do if we don't do anything else, we're going to be honest, we're going to be transparent, and we're going to uphold the law for everybody. Everybody is treated the same. No one is different. That's what the community expects of us, and that's what we're going to deliver as good police service. We're going to reduce crime in this community. We have some strategies that we're planning and put in place. In spite of some of the resources and personnel shortages that we have, we're still going to fight with everything that we have. We're going to hold ourselves accountable to you. We're going to be transparent in all that we do. And we're going to do everything we can to maintain the partnerships with the surrounding agencies throughout this community as we move forward. But I will say this to the citizens of this community. One thing I did observe coming in here, and I have to be very, very honest about this. As I moved around DeKalb County, I noticed that in many parts of this community, people feel a sense of holding their head down. I see people holding their heads down. That is not good. This is a great county with a great history. We have nothing to be ashamed of. We're going through economic challenges just like many communities across this country. It's no different for us. But what you have is a great history in this county. This is where you want to live. This is where you want to play. And my role as your chief and the men and women that you see in uniform out here who works for this county government are here to make sure that you have a safe community and safe environment to work and play in. That is very fundamental and basic for us. But we need your support, and we all need to hold our head up in spite of all the challenges that we hear about every day in DeKalb County. And the more that people push against us is the more that we should stand rooted together as one community, regardless of whether you are annexed town or you're unincorporated DeKalb. This has to be one fight, one team, one community as we move forward. And I ask that all of you, all of us in this room, we support our public safety. We support them, whether it's police or fire, whether it's EMS, support your public safety. Because the challenges that we're going to have towards the future, as we go towards the future, is going to not be any less more challenging for us. But it's going to take all of us in order to get the job done. Not just your police department, but all of us. Because what they do every day, when they go out there, and I tell you, they go out there and they put it on the line. I have seen it for myself. And I've been around policing for 35 years now. But they put a lot on the line in this county, and they keep wanting more and more and more. And if we can't give them anything else, let's give them the love and support that they need in order to do the fantastic job that they're doing. Thank you very much, and thank you for giving the opportunity to be your chief.
Okay, DeKalb County, you hear that? We're gonna hold our heads up. Lift up your heads, O ye gates. We're gonna keep our heads high, DeKalb, okay? We got a leader here. We have a leader because we're a community of leaders, and that's what it takes. Now, he gave us a Super Bowl analogy, and then the lights went out. So we must be on our way somewhere, all right? Any coach can get you in a game, but everybody can't take you to the Super Bowl. And when the lights went out, I know we must be on our way. I have a few acknowledgments, and then we're going to send everybody forth on their day. First of all, let me acknowledge my partners in public service by name. Those that I know are here. Commissioner Jeff Rader, would you stand again and be recognized? Our Clerk of Superior Court, Deborah DeBerry, would you stand and be recognized? Thank you. Judge Angela Brown from Recorder's Court, would you stand and be recognized? Our Solicitor General, Sherry Boston, please stand. And, of course, my brother in public service, who I started my public service career with, and now he's representing us in the halls of Congress. Congressman Hank Johnson, would you please stand? Another principal leader, always, listen, I just have to say this. Okay. Okay, thank you. I want to say to Hank that you operate in one of the more difficult political environments, and you serve us with distinction and honor and principle. So, Hank, I'm really proud of you. Thank you for being here today. I know you have a business schedule. Judge Bridges from Recorder's Court, would you please stand? Good to see you, Judge. Thank you. Also, I recognize some of my newer staff, and I knew I was going to leave somebody out, but I see Zan Rawls. I saw Zan over here, our Director of Animal Services. Zan, thank you for being here as well. A lot of people don't know Zan and the fine work she's doing, but she's doing important work for the county. And I want to acknowledge Corner Bakery, who brought forth the catering this morning as well. And so we have work to do, and we're going to set out and do the work. And we're going to keep our heads high at all times. At this time, we'll retire the colors.